The waters of the Yamuna River had become dangerous. Animals stopped drinking from it. Birds flying above the river suddenly fell. Even the wind around the water carried poison. Something powerful had taken control of the river. Deep inside the Yamuna lived the serpent Kaliya, a massive snake with many hoods, filled with deadly venom. His poison had spread through the water, turning a sacred river into a place of fear. The people of Vrindavan stayed away from that part of the river. Everyone knew something terrible lived there. But one person walked toward that river without hesitation. Krishna. To the villagers, he looked like a young cowherd boy. But the sages describe him very differently in the Bhagavatam. Krishna carried complete control over prana, the life energy flowing through the universe. In yogic understanding, prana moves through the body using subtle channels called nadis. When prana is balanced, there is peace. When prana becomes disturbed, chaos appears. The Yamuna had become disturbed. Krishna stepped forward to restore that balance. Near the river stood a tall kadamba tree. Krishna climbed it easily, looked at the dark poisonous water below, and jumped. The moment he entered the river, the water exploded with movement. Huge waves rose from the depths. Then the serpent appeared. Kaliya rose from the river like a moving mountain of scales. His many hoods spread across the water. His eyes burned with rage. Within seconds, the serpent wrapped his massive coils around Krishna. People watching from the riverbank froze in fear. The snake's grip looked impossible to escape. But something strange began to happen. Krishna's body did not struggle. His breathing remained steady. His energy completely centered. Because Krishna's strength did not come from physical force. It came from perfect control of life energy. Inside his body, the prana moved freely through every chakra. From the root chakra that connects to earth, to the heart chakra that carries compassion, all the way to the crown chakra that connects with divine consciousness. When these energies align, a being becomes powerful beyond ordinary limits. The serpent suddenly felt that force. The pressure around Krishna began to change. The coils that once looked powerful slowly loosened, and in one swift movement, Krishna freed himself. He rose above the serpent and stepped onto one of Kaliya's heads. What followed was extraordinary. Krishna began to dance, not like a warrior fighting an enemy. His movements flowed with rhythm, with grace, with absolute control. Each step carried immense spiritual force. Krishna moved from one hood to another, pressing them down one by one. Every time his feet touched the serpent, the poison inside Kaliya weakened. The dance continued, faster, stronger, more powerful. The serpent, who had terrified the entire river, now struggled to lift even a single hood. Because Krishna's feet were not just pressing the snake, they were transforming the energy inside him. In yogic science, when higher consciousness touches lower energy, that lower energy begins to change. Just like Kundalini energy rising through the chakras, Krishna's dance worked the same way. The arrogance of the serpent started fading. The poison lost its strength. The violent energy inside Kaliya slowly dissolved. Finally, the giant serpent became exhausted. His heads dropped into the water. At that moment, the wives of Kaliya came forward. They folded their hands and prayed to Krishna. They understood something the others were only beginning to realize. This boy standing on the serpent was no ordinary child. This was the divine force that governs the universe. Krishna looked at the serpent. The anger inside Kaliya had disappeared. The poison was gone. The energy of the river had already begun to purify. Krishna then spoke calmly. He ordered the serpent to leave the Yamuna and return to the ocean, never again disturbing the balance of nature. Kaliya obeyed. Slowly, the massive serpent disappeared into the depths and left the river. As the serpent left, the Yamuna began to heal. The poisonous air vanished. The water became clear again. Birds returned to the sky. Animals drank from the river once more. Life flowed through the Yamuna again. The people of Vrindavan celebrated Krishna's victory. But the sages say something deeper happened that day. The serpent represents ego, anger, and uncontrolled energy. The poison represents ignorance that spreads through the mind. Krishna represents pure awakened consciousness, and the dance on Kaliya's heads shows the power of divine energy correcting chaos. When the mind becomes balanced, when prana flows freely, when consciousness awakens, even the most dangerous forces lose their power. That is the message hidden inside the story. Krishna did not simply defeat a serpent, he restored harmony to life itself. And through that dance, he showed the world what true spiritual mastery looks like.